So Captive State, Captive State takes place in Chicago about 10 years after an alien invasion and occupation. The aliens set themselves up as rulers, and now a band of rebels are fighting the oppression. Huh, that sounds a little bit like Star Wars, doesn't it? John Goodman, Ashton Sanders, and Vera Farmiga star in this. The movie is a very heavy-handed political commentary. We have this ruler who has come on the scene, built walls, and just really is oppressing the people through monitoring and all the laws, despite making claims of extreme, lack of poverty, increased productivity, natural resources being developed. All of this positive spin, despite all of that, all of the negative is really happening. Captive State could almost be District 9 if District 9 had a convoluted story, terrible special effects, no character development, and was really just bad. Captive State is a mess, to put it mildly. I mean, we are shown characters with little to no introduction, and then we are supposed to care about them, supposedly. And almost every character in the film is interchangeable, because they'll show up on screen, and then they'll disappear, and then they'll show back up again, and then they disappear, and there's no explanation. The ending of the film is probably the best part, and that's not because it was over, but because we are shown what I believe the filmmakers are actually trying to do with the story. The problem is, though, that the story itself is just all convoluted, and it's not told in a clear and concise way, that they just throw in all kinds of just side tangents almost, and then you couple that with characters that you literally don't care about, and you have no idea who they are, and so it really makes it hard to be invested in there. But I do say, like, at the end, I get a glimpse of what it is, because they've wrapped it up and they've told us what the whole thing was about. The aliens in this are barely ever seen, and when we actually do see them, the lighting is so dark, like it's almost the filmmakers are trying to cover up the poor special effects. I mean, the aliens that we see, there's two types that we see. There's I guess the regular aliens, I don't know. They're all spiky. There's all kinds of moving spikes, and they look like a giant porcupine. And then there are the hunters, and they are in this like shiny metal suit, and they have a really cool gun, and what it does is it vaporizes people. So it's just like, and there you go. But we barely see that also, because anytime any of that action happens, when they happen to be on screen, it's all dark. It's at night, the lights are off, and then you combine that with really shaky camera movements, and it's hard to focus on things. And what that led me to believe is that they were just trying to cover up poor special effects. Now, I ragged on the special effects, but there was one cool one that I do have to give credit for. And there is this explosive device, or this explosive material, I guess, that the rebels get. And it's clear, basically, and it's non-organic, and it will stick to almost anything. So you could, put it on your shirt and it'll be there. You put it on your pant leg or whatever. But the really cool part is when it's armed, it becomes chameleon-like. And so the characters are able to put it on their piece of clothing, and it's undetectable. Nobody sees it coming. Nobody sees them having this explosive device on them. So I like that, and I thought that was used to a good effect, because at some points you would see it shimmer just a little bit, and that's for our benefit, so that we see it doing whatever it's supposed to be doing, knowing that no, it really is invisible. Now, what's really surprising to me is that Captive State director Rupert Wyatt also directed Rise of the Planet of the Apes. That story was phenomenal. That movie was spectacular, and they had awesome CGI. So I know he has the talent to do it. He has the capabilities, but in this, it just, I don't know, maybe everybody was off that day. Even though I think I know what they were trying to do with the film, it doesn't take away the fact that Captive State is just not good. You take a convoluted story, nothing to really keep me invested in the characters, and subpar special effects, and this sci-fi thriller doesn't even thrill me. In fact, it bored me. There is brief sex and nudity, there is a lot of profanity, and a fair amount of violence. I give Captive State 1 out of 5 couches, and that's only because I think John Goodman was trying in this. Do you think the sequel to District 9 will ever be made? I'd love to know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me. Yeah, I paid to go see this movie too. I mean, I paid for several tickets, not just myself. So I watched the crap so that you don't have to.